What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. It is a Tuesday night. That means it is time for Trivia Tuesday, so stick around before the first break. We're going to have our trivia question of the evening, but it's all about the cold still. We have more of it coming before we go on our extended warm-up. So kind of a few ups and downs coming to the pipeline. We go way up tomorrow, then way back down, and then we go way back up for an extended period of time. So Florida is acting more like it should once we get into next week. But we have to get there first. We are not completely done with the cold just yet. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from, and we are going to get to it. Of course, we're coming at you live from on U6 Plus and on the New 6 YouTube page this evening. Taking a live look tonight at the nearly full moon in Micanopy, showing off tonight. And then also in Palm Bay off to the south side, or that is, I should say, Lake Weir tonight. That is actually Lake Weir. I need to change that title. We were checking up on that brush fire earlier. I needed to change the title. Anyway, temperature's not doing too bad out there. It's still a little chilly. You might want a jacket, but it is not frigid by any means. We're back to the mid-40s in Orlando, 49 in Tallahassee. We're at 62 in Miami, and things are going to continue to work their way up from this point on. And you can thank this departing chunk of high pressure. So Florida now right in between two weather systems. We have the high pressure that's making a beeline towards Bermuda. We have the cold front that's making a beeline toward us. And in between, we're kind of squeezing in some warmth from the south. And that is going to continue to pump in overnight. And then as we move through the day, tomorrow to get back to closer to where we should be. Tomorrow is a pretty typical Central Florida day for early February standards. So not doing too bad out there. There still is the opportunity for some frost tomorrow. I mentioned this last week. I would just keep everything covered all the way until we get to Saturday morning. I think once you get to Saturday, then you can take all the coverings off of your plants. I don't think we get frost tomorrow, but I don't think we get frost on Thursday morning, I should say. But I do think we will again on Friday. So may as well just keep it covered so you don't have to go back out there and rip everything back off again. So this is what we wake up to tomorrow morning. This is Wednesday already. We're at 42 in Orlando, 41 in Jacksonville, 51 in Tallahassee. So certainly things are much warmer. Look at this. Pensacola, we're waking up to temperatures near 60. We're near 60 in West Palm and Miami. With that said, kind of right smack dab where you see that darker blue there, right down the spine of interior Central Florida, there is still the opportunity for a little bit of frost. So frost advisories are in play, but where you see the pink really along and northwest of I-4, because the winds are going to be on the calmer side, we still get close to the freezing mark again in that pink color. We will have the opportunity for some patchy frost. So again, just keep the plants covered through Friday morning. And then we will be able to let everything thaw out as we have a big-time weather pattern change coming through the middle part of February. The short-lived warm-up is what we're talking about here because of this area of high pressure. So this is kind of a different graphical representation of kind of the current situation that we are dealing with. High pressure, again, departing out closer to Bermuda. We call this return flow. So this is the same area of high pressure that caused it to get so cold in Florida over the past couple of nights. However, as it shifts to our east, the wind direction shifts. You have clockwise airflow around high pressure, and it helps to repump in some warmth. So you cool it down first and then pump in the warmth on the backside of that. And that's what we're doing. And that is why we are going to be on the warmer side tomorrow. Still below normal by a degree in Orlando, but we still have, we are going to be much, much warmer than where we've been. So we're pretty much right where we should be for this time of the year, again, through a lot of Central Florida. We're at 73 in Orlando. We're at 71 in Vero Beach. We're at 62 in Tallahassee, 62 in Pensacola, lower 70s in Miami. Again, basically everybody just a touch below where we should be, but a pretty typical day for Central Florida standards. Then we have the cold front come through, though. This changes things already. Again, we have highs on Thursday then struggling to get out of the 40s in the Florida Panhandle. We're sticking in the mid-50s in Jacksonville. We're hanging around 60 in Orlando, and then back to the low 70s in Miami. So again, this kind of warm-up is extremely short-lived as we get toward Thursday, and then back into Friday. Once we get into the weekend, we are going to take a look at an extended warm up. I do believe that we are going to turn things around big time, at least from about February 11th, 12th, 13th, in that ballpark, and then out going forward. So we're going to break up that part of we're going to get to that part of the show on the other side of this break. Before we get to break, though, it's time for Trivia Tuesday. So everybody get ready to answer the question. Again, post in the comments what you think the answer is, and we will take a look at the answer on the other side of the break. Okay, so we had some pretty significant cold air, a very significant cold air outbreak for Florida standards. So Orlando International Airport fell to 24 degrees on Sunday, breaking a daily record. That should be daily record. What is the coldest all time it ever got in the City Beautiful at the official observing site at the Orlando International Airport? So again, Orlando International Airport fell to 24 degrees on Sunday, breaking a daily record. What is the coldest it ever got in Orlando, officially recorded at the Orlando International Airport? Is it A, -2 degrees? Is it B, 22 degrees? Is it C, 12, or D, 18? Post in the comments what you think it is, and we'll be back in just 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. There is a pretty popular answer. It looks like a lot of people went with C when we're talking about our trivia question for the evening. So here we go. If you missed it before, you have a few more seconds to answer. The Orlando International Airport fell to a daily record of 24 degrees on Sunday. Again, that broke the daily record. What was the coldest of all time? The coldest temperature ever recorded in Orlando. Records go way back into the 1800s. Was it A, -2, B, 22, C, 12, or D, 18? And the answer is going to be D, 18 degrees. That was a very, very cold Arctic air mass. None of us were alive to see it. December 28th, 1894. It was labeled the Great Freeze, and it did take the Orlando area down into the teens. It's one of several times where it's gotten into the teens. The coldest, though, being 18 at the Orlando International Airport, which, of course, was not an international airport at that point, but the observing site in Orlando. 18 degrees, December 28th, 1894. I do not think we will be rivaling that anytime soon because we have this. And if you have not liked the cold, this is a site for sore eyes. This is the temperature outlook from February 11th to February 17th. You see a nice big bullseye of warmth. At least the probability is very high for some warmth to build, especially through the nation's heartland. But that also should bleed into the Central Florida area as we get into the middle part of the week ahead, getting into the middle week, in the middle part of February. So let's take a look at this cold front, though, because that comes after we chill things back down again. No opportunity for Florida snow this time around, but this front will bring us again some cooler air as we get towards not in 1894. It was MCO. Not then. It wasn't. Kimberly says the smoke was thick as pea soup last night. They're telling us to turn off central heat air purifiers, not cutting it. Elizabeth, on what day? On tomorrow? Tomorrow, you should be good to go whenever you would like. It's going to be a fantastic day tomorrow. Just a little cool in the morning. And that's still with the fire. Let me see if they've gotten that. How close is it to you? We're talking about the fire in Putnam County near Interlaken. It looked like they were getting it under control. But anyway, that is for tomorrow, or this is for the middle of February outlook. But again, we do have a little bit of colder air coming back down as we move into the day on Thursday into Friday. If you're with us earlier, we were talking again about the colder air coming back down to end this week. So there's February 6th. I mean, leading up to that round of colder air, you see it right there. The Northeast is still like ground zero for ridiculous cold. Look how purple that is. That's about 30-ish degrees below normal. We're still in the blue, not as aggressive as where we just came out of. So that's a good thing. Again, still a little cooler than normal to start and end the weekend. And then there comes that warmth surging by the middle part of February. The temperature tomorrow morning in Orlando is going to be in the lower 40s. It's going to get up into the lower 70s. So it should warm up quick after the sun comes up tomorrow. And then that cold front comes through. There's some rain around now. We have rain chances. The rain chances are going to go up a little bit as we get toward, this is going to be early Thursday morning into the early part of the afternoon as well. There's going to be an opportunity There's going to be an opportunity for some rain in New Smyrna on like late Thursday morning, early Thursday afternoon. I am typically on that channel, the live show on the Just Weather channel, Kimberly, on Mondays at 8:30. So that's a 1 day a week kind of thing. That's gonna be Monday at 8:30. Yep, that is correct, and that's why it is. And that's why it is MCO because of McCoy Air Force Base for sure. What's going on? Alrighty, guys, I have to get my second break in. When we come back, if you have any questions, post them in the chat. I will do my best to get to them with just a couple of minutes left on the back end of this break. Thank you a ton for being here on a Wednesday evening. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We have a couple of minutes left in the show, and again, it's all about the warmth tomorrow. At least it gets us back to where we should be. It should be a gorgeous afternoon. Lots of sunshine, especially early, but then the clouds go back on the increase because of this. By the way, we're taking a live look tonight in Micanopy. Look at that near full moon. And then Lake Weir, you can see the moonlight. Can't see the moon in that shot, but it is bright out there as we are approaching the full moon tonight. Again, it is going to be much, much warmer. If you are just joining us, and I see we have a bunch of people on tonight, thank you a ton for being here. Again, we're back to the mid-40s. The last couple of nights, we've already been pushing the freezing mark. So already off to a better start. And you can thank this area of high pressure again. Building and departing off toward Bermuda. It's induced that southerly wind and all that stuff going forward. This is a fantastic question that Kimberly just asked. Fantastic. She says, why is the smoke worsening at night it seeps into an old historic Victorian house. Let me see if I have some time. Give me 2 seconds and I can show you this visually. I need to pick up what we call a skew T. Essentially, what happens is the warmth especially in a clear night, in a calm night, it starts to move from the surface back up to a couple thousand feet above your head. It escapes back into space. So the warm air is now on top of the colder air that's descending down. We call that a temperature inversion. So it acts as a lid. So at nighttime, we more often than not build this inversion a couple thousand feet above our head. So as the air is rising, it really can't escape because it's capped there. A lot of times, that's what the issue is. A lot of times when you have air pollution issues, you have an inversion above. I'm going to try to see if I can show that by a skew T. Let me see. Where are we at? Okay, let me see. We have about 2 minutes, so I should have enough time. So this is going to be perfect here. There's a lot of science going on, but I want to show you this. So this is the afternoon. Let me get my little telestrator out. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a skew T. So this green line that goes up represents the dew point. This temperature, or this red line here, represents the temperature. This is the profile forecast for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Note that temperature is decreasing with height. So temperature gets colder the further to the left you go. It gets warmer the further to the right you go on this graph, okay? So that's in the afternoon. Temperature, as it typically does, decrease with height. There is a part that you start to see it go up a little bit and then decrease again. Watch down here, it reverse as we get into the evening. So I'm going to take this further out in time. And now this is at, that's going to be at 7 o'clock in the evening. And then that is going to be at 1 o'clock in the morning. So now we have temperature, it's going to the right. So the temperature is increasing with height. So then anything below this area, and that's going to be a couple thousand feet because height is here on the left-hand side in pressure. So the pressure decreases with height as well. So we're a couple thousand feet up. So then anything that's lower than a couple thousand feet isn't going to be able to be mixed out. So that is one of the reasons the warm air, the smoke rises, and then it just acts like a lid, and then it levels off. If you've ever seen in the early morning or overnight, especially like from a factory, some smokestacks, you'll see the smoke rise perfectly almost straight into the afternoon. And then at night, they go up a little bit and then level off because they can't punch through that temperature inversion. So that's the deal with that. And on clear skies, calm nights, especially, you get a really big and thick inversion to develop. And that's what we have going on there. And that is why we have smoke worse at night. Exactly. It works exactly like that. So yeah, so if you're south tomorrow, you should be good from the smoke, and then they'll be out of the northwest again Thursday morning, like late Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So then it'll blow back towards you again. So that's the deal there. Alrighty, guys, we went over time a little bit. Great question from Kimberly. Free thinker, good to see you, my friend. Eduardo Villages, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Good to see you. Kimberly, good to see you. Melissa, good to see you as always. Elizabeth, hope you have a great day tomorrow. If you go out, again, not too chilly tomorrow, back to the low to mid 70s. Alrighty, guys, we're back up in a couple of minutes. News 6 at 10 on YouTube and on News 6 Plus. And then, of course, News 6 at 11. Hope to see all of you guys there on a chilly, but certainly not as brutally cold night in Central Florida. Have a great night, guys. Catch you soon.